Hello there everybody, Don Juan here, and another Steven bomb has come and passed, and with it, so much gained. Ah man, damn, this past Steven bomb was really damn good. And real quick, before I get into more of the video, viewer discretion is advised, because spoilers for those of you who haven't watched it. If you haven't watched it, go watch it, and I will say it in the video instead of putting it in the description because I don't want anything bad to happen. But go to kisscartoon.com to watch the episodes if you guys missed them. Anyways, here's what I think of the episode. So we had The Answer, also known as fan service, with a little bit of information. Steven's birthday, more fan service with a little bit of information. It could have been great, which was like character development and info. Message received, character and info, character development. And then, my favorite episode, Log Date 7152. Fan service and character development. Yes! Anyways, let's get right into this with The Answer. The Answer was the first episode of the Steven bomb. And in this episode, Garnet wakes up Steven at midnight. Originally her plan for his birthday was to tell Steven that she was a fusion of Ruby and Sapphire. But things didn't go as planned, so instead she goes in to tell Steven that the story of Ruby and Sapphire first met. So they're both from Homeworld, so rest in peace everybody's hopes and pointless delusions of Ruby and Sapphire being Romeo and Juliet, because screw that, we don't need that shit. And so yeah, Sapphire is like a super rare gem, she can see the future, but like Ruby's a common soldier, and Sapphire was supposed to like die in a raid by the rebels on the Cloud Arena, but Ruby changes fate by saving Sapphire. The two of them fuse unintentionally, and the rebels escape. So the other gems, including Blue Diamond, are furious. They want to break Ruby, so Sapphire goes and says nah. So they leave, they fall in love, yeah, they fuse again, then they meet like Rose Quartz and Pearl, and welcome to Earth. So, how I see it, the first time, okay, so some people had a problem with Ruby and Sapphire's like how they first met and their whole love story, because they say that it's like, oh, love at first sight, and in all honesty, I don't see it like that. How I see it, the first time they fused was not because they were already in love. Remember Garnet saying before that fusion is about trust and choice. Sure, you can see that there wasn't much of a choice since they fused spontaneously, but what there was trust. Ruby was completely loyal to Sapphire, and you can already see that Ruby thought she was cute, and Sapphire enjoyed what little contact she had with Ruby. Since she could see into the future, she had, she knew stuff, whatever. Then the first time they fused was amazing because you can tell that they didn't know what was going on. You have Cotton Candy Garnet, but like the two felt a connection there. Like Ruby was risking her life even after she failed to save Sapphire, and Sapphire was doing the same thing. By deserting Homeworld. So both are completely entranced with their fusion since they didn't have experienced something like this before. Ruby says that she had, she obviously had fused before, but it was among other rubies, and she says it herself that when she fused, it's not like she disappeared. Ruby had said that when she fuses, it's just like she's a bigger form of herself. And Sapphire had never fused before because, she's rare. We can assume that there's only one of her, or that there's very, very few like sapphires going around. So obviously Sapphire had never had the chance to fuse before. So, they had this connection. Ruby, who had constantly fused before, had never experienced fusion quite like this before, and Sapphire, who had never fused, she had never been able to have such an experience before up until the moment when she fused with Ruby. So then, not only that, both of them were going against everything they had ever known. Ruby was going against her orders even though she was extremely loyal, and Sapphire acted on instinct instead of on premonition, which left her frozen. Lol puns. Well, yeah, what ensued after that was the actual love part, the experiencing a new place with new sensations. The second time they fused, they were hesitant. Like they talked, and the second time you can tell that they were hesitant. They weren't entirely sure if they should do it or not. But, in the end, they gave in to their emotions, because, it's so nice. Love's great. But yeah, another thing I kind of wanted to talk about is, that the first time when they fused accidentally, Ruby jumps in to save Sapphire, and they kind of spin, and then after that, when they fuse the second time, they waltz. Their dance has always been a kind of like waltz. They're spinning, holding each other, and then in the end, Ruby picks up Sapphire and they fuse. So I really like their fusion dance. It's really nice. And I guess you could also say that when she rescued them, it's kind of as they were dancing, even though they don't know what that is. And technically dancing shouldn't even exist yet, because it's 5,000 years. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, on to the next episode. Steven's birthday. So, Steven's birthday. Real quick, plot summary. Steven turns 14. Connie and Greg start going through a scrapbook. Connie notices that Steven isn't really aging. She's talks to Greg about it. Steven overhears that Connie's really worried that affected, I guess you could say, about that it bothers her that he's not aging. So Steven, because he wants to spend the rest of his life with Connie, forces him, stretches himself out to make himself look older. And Connie really likes that. So yeah, but then after that, because of him stretching himself out, he reverts back to a baby. And I don't know, that was a little bit weird, but whatever. In the end, he goes back to normal, and Connie realizes that no matter what, she really wants to be with Steven. Even no matter what his age ends up being in the end. Now, this was my least favorite episode, and don't take that the wrong way, it was still a good episode, I liked it, but it was my least favorite episode because it feels a bit out of place with the whole baby Steven thing. But in all honesty, I see this as a thing that Steven did subconsciously to avoid the problem of him stretching. Because he didn't really want to talk about it. He kind of wanted to I'm a baby, I'm gonna avoid it. The purpose, he did it subconsciously. What I really enjoyed about this episode was learning about Steven's aging and the development with his relationship with Connie. I do agree with my boy Ballin though, because I would have liked more Peridot in this episode, as in her interacting with Connie, or her asking Steven and the Gems what the hell is birthday? Why do you guys celebrate this? Now, it could have been great. It could have been great. So, quick summary of the episode, it could have been great. So, we have, they finished the drill, and so, the Gems are chilling, and Steven teaches Peridot how to sing, which was nice. I enjoyed Peridot's little made-up song. But then Peridot's oh shit, we can't use the drill because we don't know where the cluster is, and we have one shot of drilling to it and destroying it. So what do they have to do? They have to go to the moon! So they take Lion, who creates a bunch of portals, takes them to the moon, to an old gem base where we see images of Blue Diamond, yellow diamond, and white diamond. So on the moon base, Peridot goes to an old gem computer, much to her excitement. And on the computer, she finds out the location of the cluster, and she also shows Steven and the gems what would have happened to Earth if it had become an actual gem colony. So here's the map of the world in Steven Universe. So as you can see, Africa is missing everything, which we assume is this tuber here in South America. Yeah, this needs to go here. And what the fuck happened to Russia? Then Australia is like way smaller. I don't know, but that's the map of the world as we know it in Steven Universe. So then we find out the location of the gem drill, which they say is so many thousands of feet, kilometers, whatever, underneath the barn. So then I'm like, wait, so if that's there, that means Steven and the gems and Beach City are like in SoCal, San Diego, I don't know, something like that. Cause like, look at it, ooh. And then so we see the Earth colony as it would have been if it was completed, completely devoid of organic life, all the Earth's resources used efficiently, as Peridot says. The gems get mad, they break the computer, and Steven is very disappointed in Peridot because he says, I thought that you finally understood what the gems are trying to do here. At the end of the episode, Peridot takes something from the computer, and Steven notices. And that takes us right into message received. But real quick, before we go into message received, I want to talk a little bit about Peridot in this episode and the gems. So this episode had a ton of character development with Peridot that I will address a little bit more of when I talk about log date 7152. But we get the new song, which was nice. And so then we don't see Pink Diamond because obviously that's gonna be like some big reveal. So when we see Peridot on the moon, we see something extremely important. So at this point, we have seen a lot of changes in Peridot's character. She is a lot more open to she's more open-minded to suggestions, ideas, new concepts such as that of singing, and she seems to enjoy in the act of singing. But no matter what, we still see that Peridot gets extremely excited when she goes to the computer and everything, and she sees the Earth colony, because Peridot reveres the diamonds almost to the point of fanatic worship. You have to think about it. I don't know how old Peridot is, but we have to assume that she's several hundreds of years old because gems, they're like immortal in aging. So you guys have to remember, no matter how much you criticize Peridot for running back into the diamonds and la 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 and this and that, this is what all she knew for like all her life up to this point, up until the past like month or so that she has been with the gems. So that's also really important. And yeah, anyways, now we can go into message received. So, message received, real quick. Steven confronts Peridot about what she took from the moon base, and it turns out that she stole a direct link to Yellow Diamond, a comm link that like will put her into direct contact with Yellow Diamond. So Steven gets pissed, takes it from Peridot, because he's like traitor. And so, he tells the gems. Steven is like extremely mad because he starts thinking, man, sometimes there is no changing people. And then Peridot breaks into breaks out of the car that Steven locked her in, gets in a robot, steals back the gem communicator, and contacts Yellow Diamond. She tries to convince Yellow Diamond not to destroy the Earth not to destroy the Earth, but like to destroy the cluster, so it won't destroy the Earth, much to the gem's amazement. But Yellow Diamond's like, no, screw you, Peridot, you've already disappointed me, this and that. I want the Earth to die. And Peridot tries to get her to see reason. She tries to get her, to be like, hey, but the Earth's like really important, and they have like all this organic life. And then Yellow Diamond's like, ew, organic life. And so then, in the end, Peridot calls her a clod, hangs up, and now she is officially a crystal gem. Okay, to start off, I want to say that I agree with Ballin in the fact that I believe that Steven should have learned something. Because, you know, it's important that Steven gets some development in some areas too, because he's very innocent, he's very naive about certain things, and that can prove fatal in the future. So, yeah. But, you know what? This disappointment of him not learning his lesson was like demolished when we finally got to see Yellow Diamond. Holy shit! Yellow freaking Diamond. We've been waiting for this for like the longest time. You know, Steven Universe fans be like, and Yellow Diamond's like, disgusting. I'm the size of 3 of these memeing pearls. Stupid pearl. I'm a meme. But yeah, Yellow Diamond's reveal was completely amazing, incredible. It was more than I could have ever hoped for. She looks powerful. She looks imposing. She like, oh, I don't know. Okay. Anyways, stop gushing a bit. Yeah. Anyways, back to Peridot. So I find it very important that Peridot kept doing the My Diamond salute, because even though Peridot is like defying Yellow Diamond's orders, you know, by not shutting up and everything, this fear and respect shows that like how important the diamonds are to Peridot. It's especially her diamond, Yellow Diamond. So, you know, I need you guys to keep that in mind when you think about Peridot and her redemption, because it wasn't just like one episode to the next thing. Peridot's, oh, she's a lot better now. But yeah. Anyways, I found it really amusing. Well, Yellow Diamond's pearl with her smug bastard face, Yellow Diamond meme, and then I really like how the gems are classified by facets and cuts, because that's actually how gems are classified in real life. I don't know. I thought that was amusing. Anyways, this takes us straight into log date 7152. Log date 7152. So, quick summary. You know, Peridot's like freaking out that she called Yellow Diamond a clod, that she's officially a crystal gem, and then she drops her like recorder that she's been using to keep her log dates. Steven picks it up because he wonders why when Peridot and Garnet's relationship got so good. So what we get is a bunch of like, you know, Peridot stuff. Peridot like learning about Earth, pushing Greg off, Garnet telling her, oh, humans are fragile, be more careful with them. Peridot doing cleaning duty, finding clothing, you know, showing you know, human emotion. Garnet's thumbs. Oh, Peridot fangirling, which I thought was very amusing. You know, she gets high heels from Steven because I know that she likes to feel tall. Jokes. And then, you know, she attempts fusion with Garnet, which doesn't work out in the end, but Garnet, you know, it really likes that she tries it anyways. So, in the end, you know, Steven gets to see how they grew so close, and thumbs up. Okay, now, this was the last episode of Peridemption for a reason, because we get to see everything that's been going on in between the episodes. And we see what we see is a bunch of human experiences. We see curiosity. Peridot, who before had said, "Oh, I don't care about learning about the Earth. It's not important to me." La da da. Well, she becomes curious about things, so she starts learning. She doesn't know how to mop, because what the hell? She's not a cleaning. Then, she starts doing more human things, like, she finds an interest in clothing, and she's like, "Oh, it's all ridiculous, what is it? Appearance modifiers that aren't part of your body, la da da." All like at the same time trying to deny this to herself. And Garnet, being like, "Ah, you like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?" Squidward! And so then, yeah. I'm gonna go straight into the Peridemption talk, because that's how I wrote it in my script. Yeah. Peridemption! So, I would like to argue that Peridot's redemption was not only this week, that it was not rushed, but was in fact in place since the episode Catch and Release. Here we see Peridot question Steven's kindness, because it appears that they don't have kindness back on Homeworld. Back on Homeworld, it seems like whenever she messed up on something, she was punished. Hence her, "Is that a weapon?" And being afraid that the crystal gems are just gonna like shatter her or whatever. So in this episode, she's introduced into kindness, and this is extremely important because that builds her trust, not only on Steven but on the rest of the gems. Well, more on Steven in this episode. Next, when it rains, we see more of this like kindness and relationship with her trust in Steven growing, because she begins to learn from him. She learns about rain. She learns how to be grateful and thank people. And at first, when she finally agrees to talk to Steven about the cluster, she's like, "No, I'm only going to tell you because the rest of the gems are clods and you're all right." But then they go to the kindergarten, they get attacked, and when the gems are like bagging on Steven, "Steven, why did you leave home? It's dangerous here." She actually stands up to him. So like her fear of like the rest of the gem, her fear and distrust is like overpowered by her faith in Steven. So then this continues in Back to the Barn, where we see more of Peridot's open-mindedness, because at first she's like, "Oh, Pearl's just a pearl, she's just meant to stand there and look pretty." But by the end of the episode, they tell her, "Welcome to Earth." She begins to think, and she ends up apologizing to Pearl and acknowledging her and her skills. So yeah. Then, in the last episode, before Steven Bomb 4, Peridemption, I mean Steven's birthday, Too Far. By this point, Peridot has begun to learn more of the Earth and the gems, and begins to tell jokes. But the last concept she has yet to understand is that of emotions and how to deal with them. At the end of the episode, when Steven asks, she hurts, sorry, I was reading too fast. Read a line. Killing the mood, I'm gonna cut this out. Anyways, she apologizes to Amethyst because Steven tells her, "Oh, you hurt her feelings." And after she apologizes, Steven asks her, "How do you feel?" And she says that she feels big. So, if it weren't for all of this, Peridemption would have been impossible in Steven Bomb 4, since Peridot would not have held the values she does for quote-unquote organic life, the Earth, Steven, and the gems. She learns all kinds of human experiences that the gems learned in their time on Earth. We might take it for granted because we're people, but look at this. This is all completely new for Peridot. She has been on Earth for about a month, and she's changed so much. She fangirls, she tried fusion, which I thought was great. And then throughout, like in the episodes before Steven Bomb, she learns kindness from others. She doesn't have to be afraid. She begins to become more open-minded about learning new things, acknowledging others, moving away from the status quo and how things are supposed to be. And this, like as she said, this makes her feel big. She's growing. Now, real quick, before I continue to give my thoughts on Steven Bomb 4 as a whole, I need to gush real quick about her attempted fusion with Garnet. So, you know, basically Garnet, she's like, Garnet, I want to understand you. Garnet's like, let's have sex. She's like, holy shit. And you know, she's like, she's really embarrassed because, you know, fusion is basically sex. But in the end, she gives in, tries something new. And Garnet's like, thanks for trying to understand me. And I don't know, I just thought it was really nice, because if you keep looking at and thinking about how Peridot has changed with her views on Homeworld, where everyone is like methodical, strict, to you know, everybody just gets down to business. There is no room for play. And here on Earth, she learns how to lounge. She learns how to learn things that are away from the status quo, from what she was made for. She was made as a technical gem, and yet here on Earth, she's learned to grow and adapt to all kinds of different things, and become more open-minded about these things. Anyways, that's all I have to say about Peridemption. I honestly don't think it was rushed. I think it has been building up for a long time, but we didn't realize it as much until this week, because the last episode of the Steven Bomb were basically Peridemption. Anyways, you know, those are just some things that I think that I was thinking about. If you guys want me to talk more about it, you know, just leave a comment or send me, you know, tweet me on Twitter. I'm responsive. So I give Steven Bomb 4 an 11 out of 10. Best time I've had watching Steven since I binge watched it back when I first got into the show last year. Anyways, I want to give a special shout out to my boy Ballin and Ernesto. Links to their videos / channels in the description below. And like I said, leave your thoughts on this video, on the Steven Bomb 4, the music, which I really enjoyed. Oh my god, Something Entirely New was amazing. One of my new favorite songs. And yeah, so thank you all for watching. This has been Don Juan, signing out.